There was a homecoming for Grand Blanc's Carson Howe. After spending a year at Blue Ridge High School in Virginia, Carson returned to the Bobcats football team for his senior year. As an athlete who can play many positions on the field, Carson in the first 2 weeks of the season was on a hot start, which included a 67-yard pick six against Carman Ainsworth. Carson was riding high heading into week 3 with Grand Blanc's first home game at their brand new stadium.
I was incredibly thankful to be back, and I think the emotions surrounding that game, I think everybody was just as excited as I am, but it definitely meant a little more to me because I had missed out on the crowds for years. So seeing this beautiful stadium all packed is definitely like a surreal emotion.
Unfortunately, that experience wouldn't last long as Carson suffered a broken fibula right at this spot on the field.
I was rushing the quarterback. I kind of tried to dip under a block. I lost my footing, and then who knows who fell on me. There's like 3 people behind me, and I got fell on by a few people, and I kind of just felt like pop, 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 and I was like, oh, like something's not right.
This injury was one unlike anything Carson had ever experienced before. He had never had surgery for an injury, and this one required 7 screws and a metal plate in his ankle. All Carson wanted was to get back on the field with his guys.
At first, I was like, oh my God, there's no way I'm coming back. But then I was like, I kept researching. I'm like, dude, somebody had to have done this before. And so I look it up, and I'm like, hey, Terrell Owens came back from the same exact injury, 2007. He came back and played in the Super Bowl 7 weeks later. I'm like, hey, this is possible. And then I see the things that Aaron Rodgers is doing, and his quote, like, hey, just because it hasn't been done yet doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means it hasn't been done yet. And so I kind of took that and ran with it. I'm, hey, if anybody can do it, it's me.
And run with it he did. Carson kept rehabbing, hoping to make it back in time for the Bobcats' playoff game against Davison. After 8 weeks of grueling work, the call was made.
I really didn't expect it to happen, but I had made incredible progress, and honestly, like, the doctors just kind of said I was an anomaly, and I was probably one of the craziest athletes they've seen, just the way that I was running, and doctors were like, holy crap, how is he doing this? Like, I was running at like 4 weeks, and some people aren't even walking then. So it's just really, they were like, oh my gosh, like, you're crazy. And so that Monday I went to my doctor. I'm like, hey man, like, I can do this. Like, this is like my dream. This is the game I wanted to play in. Like, can you please like make something happen for me? He's like, he looks at my x-rays and he's like, you're good.
Carson defied the odds and made it back for one last ride with his boys in the district finals against Davison. In his return, Carson would force a fumble and pick up a couple tackles for loss. Even though the Bobcats couldn't get the win, Carson is incredibly grateful to everyone who helped him get back on the field.
At the end of the day, I got to do what I wanted. I got to play one last game with my friends that I've grown up with. I mean, the kids that I've sat at my lunch table with since 6th grade, and the kids that I've played youth football with since I was 8 years old. It's just like, it's hard not to get emotional because, like, it's just what I wanted. And so I'm just incredibly thankful that I got one more, and that that everybody helped me get through it.